Hello, it's Uncommon Fossil, and today I want to talk about what is arguably the strongest deck in Expanded right now, and that's Shadow Rider Calyrex. And it's very strong in the full Expanded, and it's also very strong in the live Expanded Beta, which is the truncated format here. It's got Max Geist for its attack, 3 energy. It does 10 damage plus 30 more for each psychic energy attached to all your Pokemon. So it takes a little bit to get going up to big damage, but it does have Underworld Door, which is a tremendous ability. Once during your turn, you may attach a psychic energy card from your hand to one of your bench psychic Pokemon. If you do, then you draw 2 cards. So accelerates energy into play, which you need to do to build up Max Geist. And it also draws cards, so a super strong ability. It's still a little slow getting going, so we have some cards in Expanded that really help slow down your opponent to get things set up. One of them is this Gengar Mimikyu-GX, so it's a tag team, gives it 3 prizes, which is not ideal, but its Horror House GX attack is tremendous for 1 energy. Then your opponent can't play any cards from their hand their next turn. If it has a 2nd energy, each player draws till they have 7 cards in hand. That's not always a good thing. Usually you're just horror housing for 1. Your opponent, well, yes, they get a turn. They can't play any cards from hand, so unless they're all set up with it to attack with what's on board, they're not doing anything. So most of the time your opponent is just passing back to you. Then you have so you pull this off turn 1 if you go 2nd, or turn 2 if you went first. And you can do that pretty easily. Then after this attack, the following turn, you might do Poltergeist, which is for 2 energy. It does 50 damage per trainer your opponent has in their hand. So, and don't forget, they weren't able to play any cards the previous turn, so they probably have a decent size hand, and they have trainers in their hand most likely. So not a bad attacker. Or the other attacker, which you might be the better early attacker at, is Trevenant Dusknoir-GX 270 HP. It does have its own GX attack. We usually don't use it. Usually Horror House is better. But at the end of your opponent's turn, if you have 2 energy, their Pokemon is knocked out. Now, they can retreat out and avoid that, so it's usually not the optimal play, but it's an option. But usually we have this for the Night Watch attack. 3 psychic energy does 150, which is okay. But early on, that may be better damage than you can do with your Shadow Rider Vmax, so Night Watch is a good option there. And then also, you choose 2 random cards from your opponent's hand. Your opponent reveals those cards and shuffles them into their deck. So you shuffle 2 random cards from your opponent's hand. So that disrupts them, makes it harder for them to set up. A lot of what it's doing is it's buying another turn to get your Shadow Rider set up. So turn 1, let's say Horror House. Turn 2, Trevenant Dusknoir. Turn 3, smashing your opponent with big damage on the Shadow Rider. And then you have a Tapu Lele with Wonder Tag. You search your... When it goes to the bench, you search your deck for a supporter card, put it into your hand. And you can attack with this one too if you so choose. Usually we're not doing that. And then Dedenne-GX with Dedenne Change, you discard your hand. It's an on-play ability. You can discard your hand and then draw 6 cards. You can't attack with it because we don't have lightning energy, but a very nice ability. Then we also have another card to make life difficult for opponents and slow them down. And that is the Alolan Muk Stage 1. And that has Power of Alchemy. Each basic Pokemon in play in each player's hand and in each player's discard pile has no abilities. So that can really disrupt your opponent. We have to be careful because we can't use Tapu Lele or Dedenne once this is in play. But it will often hurt our opponents quite severely. And once we're set up with a couple Shadow Rider Vmaxes in play, it doesn't mess with Shadow Rider's ability. So we like to get down to Alolan Muk. We keep using our ability. Their opponent can't use theirs, hopefully. And then occasionally you will attack with Crunch. It does 90 damage. It may discard an energy on a coin flip. It's 4 energy, though, so it's probably not what you want to use. 3 basic Psychic Energy, because that's what we need to be accelerating around. So all basics. And then a mix here of trainers. Go through these quickly. Hisuian Heavy Ball, obviously very good to look for Pokemon. 3 Air Balloons, because we do need to be doing switching between things, so very useful card there. 2 Ordinary Rod to shuffle 2 Pokemon, and or 2 basic energy from the discard pile into your deck. Especially the Pokemon early on, we need to get back into our deck if we had to discard them early on. 2 Quick Balls. 1 Escape Rope, 4 Mysterious Treasure. If you're not familiar with this, you discard a card from your hand. If you do, you search your deck for a Psychic or Dragon Pokemon, and reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So it allows us to search for any of our Psychic Pokemon with it. So a very useful card here. 1 Forest Seal Stone, obviously attach that to our Shadow Rider, and we can use Forest Seal Stone to search for a card. 1 Professor's Research, only 1 because we want a Tapu Lele for it. We're not looking to discard a ton of cards with this deck, I would say. 1 Field Blower to bump a Stadium and or a Tool. Very, very nice card in Expanded. 2 Pal Pad to get back supporters. 4 Fog Crystal, which just... Oh, no, it's still in Standard, sorry. Search your deck for a Psychic Energy or a basic Psychic Pokemon. Put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So a very nice card to get set up or draw energies even as the game goes on. 2 Training Court, where you put a basic energy from the discard pile into your hand. Need to get those energies back so we can utilize Shadow Rider's Vmax's ability. 4 Marnie, this is the supporter we're leaning into a lot, right, to disrupt our opponent and to get us some new cards. 1 Roxanne, which obviously is highly disruptive. 2 Guzma, which is similar to Boss, but after you switch your opponent's Pokemon, you switch yours also. I think that's better than Boss with this deck. And then 2 Acerola, a really terrific supporter. You put one of your Pokemon that has any damage counters on it, and all cards attached to it into your hand. So Sharon's Care is kind of a reduced version of this card. Sharon's Care only does it for colorless Pokemon. This does it for any Pokemon. So a very, very powerful card. So that's what's in the deck. I've been finding it to be very effective. Let's jump in the expanded beta ladder, see what happens. Of course, it's not ranked. Expanded is not ranked. Eventually, I assume it will. I kind of like this truncated format. I kind of personally wish they would keep it. I suspect Pokemon will put back the full format one day, and they might not make it ranked until that time. I suspect it'll be a little while. You know, they have a lot of work to do to get Standard up to where it needs to be, and certainly I think they need to prioritize Standard first. So we'll see what happens here. Just waiting for my opponent to call the coin toss. Get to hear some sound effects. Let me know if you like hearing the sound or not. I've made the volume a little louder than the earlier video because it was soft, so I turned up. I have both sound effects and music on. I hear them at a little over my headset, which is pretty good. I don't know in terms of how it is watching the video, though. Let me know what you think about it. So not the Pokemon I want to start with. And it's 3 retreat costs, so this is might just be the worst starter of the bunch for me. So we'll see what happens. Not loving it. Up against a fire deck, I go for, okay, well, I'm attaching and passing, so that's not good. So let me look at the Pale Moon, which I don't usually use that. The end of my opponent's turn, their defending Pokemon will be knocked out. I think, though, if they evolve the Growlithe, they get out of that. So I think, I mean, I may be forced to do that. That might be my only option. But, right, so we will see what happens. So Arven. So this may be the fire starter deck. That's, you know, the downside with these when you go and expand it, because of how it is, you get people even playing, this is a standard starter deck. Why they're playing expanded, I don't know. Now, it might not actually be a standard deck, right? They may have tweaked it out some, and it may actually be a solid deck. Okay, so Defiance Band. And Ultra Ball, which means they will evolve the next turn probably, so I kind of will be wasting my GX attack because I assume they will evolve the Pokemon, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't get knocked out then. I might just use the attack for a test, but this game has gone very badly. I played the deck several times. This is by far the worst it's done. I'm not sure why they made that move there. I mean, I thought that they might have wanted to use Stoke, right? I think Stoke would have been the smart play. Then they could have evolved it next turn and hit me for big damage with Growlithe. Or Arcanine EX, sorry. I think they might have 2 Arcanine EXs now. I'm not trying to remember. No. They got an Ultra Ball, and they got Defiance Band. So, Shadow Rider's good. What do I want to do here? I could... I don't love this, but... Alright, I'm going to use my GX attack here. I don't think it's going to be very strong, but we'll see what happens. I believe if they evolve, they get out of it. But they don't have energy, so if they evolve, they're not going to be doing a lot with it. I mean, or they may switch to the bench, right? They may rope and get it out of the active. In which case, again, that avoids the whole knockout situation. So, they may be. We'll see what they get. Arvin maybe get another Ultra Ball and another Defiance Band. They probably want to evolve the Growlithe into Arcanine EX. All right, so a Nest Ball. Gonna get down one of their other Pokemon, I assume. Let's see what they get. What they get down was their Charcadet, I think, and all right, Radiant Charizard. But you know that until I start taking prizes, it doesn't do a lot. This has been a very, very bad start for me. All right, so they evolve, so they don't get knocked out, but they can't attack, right? They only have 1 energy on it, so because they roped, if they had stayed in the active and used their attack, they could have done big damage to me this turn, but they chose not to. So, do I want to... I think I'll hit into it, and I'll actually... Part of why I want to do this is they won't have any cards in hand, right? So so I'm not going to use the ability. I'll do 150, and they lose the cards in hand. So this is not obviously the game. This is not the game plan the deck wants to run. I tried. Sorry, I said obviously, I believe, but I try not to say that because what one person feels is obvious is often not obviously obvious to another person, right? That's one of the things that seems to be clear from the way the world works. So I try not to say it. So again, my opponent has no cards in hand once again. So that's pretty brutal, right? A 0-card hand, 2 turns in a row, right? All they're doing is whatever they top deck, and they have nothing else that they can use. Now I have a basic energy, so that's quite nice. They can stoke though, right? Okay, they're clarifying 3, so they probably should attack to Radiant Charizard, and then they could attack next turn with a 2nd energy. I'll knock him out because that'll get me if I knock out the Growlithe. That's 3 prizes taken. They can evolve though, also, right? So they have an energy, so they're evolving. So I don't knock them out. They should attach the energy someplace. Right, so it'll just do 30 damage to me this turn. I could Acerola, but I don't think that's really very good for me. Shadow Rider, huh? And they're going to do 250 next turn, right? So they're going to knock out my active next turn. I don't like that, I gotta say. Makes me annoyed. Makes me unhappy. Makes me sad. I could Guzma. Let's think here. He gives up 3 prizes. I don't like that, right? How do I want to work this? So I'm going to Acerola. How do I want to... just not liking my situation. So I'll give up the prize here. So that's okay. And I'll end turn. Maybe I shouldn't have played the Trevenant Dusknoir. I'm trying to think through what I'm going to do. They're going to knock out my active, I assume. Well, they need an energy, right? They only have 2 cards in hand. They might not have the energy, which will be unfortunate for them. I can... Okay. So they just did 30. That's not terrible, right? So I can accelerate to my man on the bench. Actually, I could. I actually could attach. I think I'm going to attack back with the other guy. I think I'm going to change my plan. I'm going to attack with Trevenant and Dusknoir here. It's a bit cheeky, but I'm feeling that's the way to go here. Because once again, they're down to 2 cards in hand, so I figure, why don't I get rid of all their cards in hand, right? Just makes perfect sense to me, right? I could have Acerola, but no. Keep him in play. So I want to get a basic down. Just get another V down. That's what I want. I could, you know, if I get the Alolan Muk up, then Radiant Charizard can't attack either. But that's okay. I'm gonna wipe out Alolan. I'm gonna wipe out the Charizard is my plan here, right? Hopefully I do. Not guaranteed it at all, but 150. Now he at this point he has no cards in hand again. My opponent, he or she, sorry. And I have knockout next turn. They can't knock me out. They can put 250 on. They have to have energy, though, or they're doing 180, which is important, too. 180 certainly hurts me. So I can Acerola now, right? So I think I want to Acerola. So I want to save Star Alchemy because I don't need that yet. So, I'm going to put you on to my healthy Shadow Rider because why not, right? Get you up. How much damage am I doing? 130. I'm not doing a ton of damage, but I think I'll be doing enough damage here, right? Alright, that's okay too. There's no energy in the discard yet. I'm going to play my heavy ball. It's a couple energy. Alright, so that's fine. I'll get rid of a Marnie. I have an extra one. Actually, I'll toss down a Shadow Rider. Take the knockout here. Still have Star Alchemy next turn also, that they can't knock me out. So, wipe him out. Sorry, it was a slow turn. I wasn't trying to disrespect him. I was just trying to maximize everything, right? Give myself the strongest position possible, right? Because I have had different attacking options this game for sure, right? So now I can get the I have Alolan Grimer down, so I can get Alolan Muk in play, so they can attack me. And they can see it because I was going to knock them out next turn. So they're a quick game, you know. Well, not as quick as the game could have been, but a bit of a not the start I wanted, but obviously you saw a lot of power in the deck. Let's jump in and see the game and see the deck in another game. So as I sit back here and wait, I listen to the music in my headphones. I don't know. Let me know how you feel about the sound. Again, I can turn up or down the music and or the sound effects. Probably I don't know if having both go at both playing is a smart idea. Up to a few videos ago, I always had them muted. All right, so it's taking a while to find an opponent. It's not common for me to find it take this long for an opponent. But, all right, I found someone. All right, I will choose heads, and we'll see how things go. I think I chose heads. Heads it is. And I want to go first as an evolution deck. Yeah, I want to go first. I was just thinking, because obviously with Gengar Mimikyu, I could go second and shut them down, right? Which isn't bad. I will toss out Shadow Rider, which certainly is not bad. I have it's a pretty solid hand. Alolan Grimer I'll probably play, because I can evolve him next turn into Alolan Muk. I probably want to get down. I want to get, I think, my Gengar Mimikyu down, and with an energy attached. So I'm weak to dark, so that's not good, right? I don't love that. Right, I think, are they all weak? So that's not good. Dark type is awkward. Awkward for sure. You grab an energy, and then let me see what else is in the deck. So I'm going to ditch a Shadow. So it's fine to ditch a Shadow Rider. I have 2 more in deck. Okay. So bench. And I want to get down another Shadow Rider V. And then I'll Dedenne and evolve a Shadow Rider next turn. So that's a very nice turn. Right? At this point, I don't want to Dedenne change now, because I want to lay down the Shadow Rider. So hopefully I do not get Marnied or judged, but we never know, right? It could happen, obviously. And Galarian is a very good Pokemon. We don't see a lot of that in the game. All right, Hammer. This could be awkward. So I have to get that energy back, right? Now, I do play Training Court also. I only want a Horror House for 1, so that's okay. It slows down my Shadow Riders, though. Now, the concern is I am weak to them. So, might I not want to evolve into the Vmax? Just because they can knock me out fairly easily. I'm pretty sure I do want to evolve, though, right? All right, I have my basic energy. I'll attach here. Evolve him. And did a change? Oh, yes, I do. All right, have an Air Balloon. That's a nice set of cards, right? Nice set of cards. So I guess I'll stick that energy on Gengar and Mimikyu, since my opponent can't do much next turn. I will retreat you back, send you up, evolve here, play my stadium, get my energy back. Actually, that was a mistake. No, actually, that's good. Actually, drawing to 7's good, right? It'll increase my damage next turn. So that's not bad at all, is it? do I want to get something here? I think I do, right? Alright, I'm gonna Horror House. Just gonna Horror House, draw to 7. We each draw 2. They can't play any cards, so they have 7 cards in hand. I'm gonna draw to 8. They can't play anything. So I'm gonna do some solid damage on my turn. I can get some more energies into play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 3 isn't that much at 120. Okay, so very solid. Let's just keep this thing going. I do have my... Okay, that's nice also. I'll get another V down. I like that too. I think I want to attach and get just... I didn't excel. I think I want to attach an energy by hand too, don't I? Maybe I'll wait on that though. I'm in a strong position. I will... I'm going to attack, see what happens. I'm still weak to them, right? So just 100, right? That's the thing. Didn't do big damage. So now things get serious, right? I didn't play Trevenant Dusknoir. See, this is where that would do an extra 150 more damage. It still wouldn't have got me the knockout, right? So I think Gengar Mimikyu was a good play. You know, all these tag teams give up 3 prizes. That's part of my concern. They're playing Magikarp, all right, and they play hammers. All right, tail, so they're 1 for 1, right? They hit heads the first time, right? And yeah, tails the second, so I could have 1 more energy in play, and maybe I made a mistake there. I don't think I attached manually that turn, right? So I will... Alright, well that's not terrible either. Alright, I hit an air balloon. That is quite nice, right? So, air balloon... I need an energy, right? So I will use you just to grab a basic energy. How sad, right? But that makes me quite happy. It's enough, right? I mean, when you can Forest Seal Stone for a basic energy, things are set up. That's what that means. Things are set up for me. I do want to... let's think here. I'm going to retreat, send up. What am I doing? 190. I do want to get rid of a Marnie here. Shut down the abilities of basic Pokemon, right? So maybe I made a mistake there, right? I might have. I'm just going to attack. Just going to attack. I could have tried to get some more energy into play or something, but I don't know. Maybe I was too passive there. Could have played a supporter, but just didn't feel like there was a supporter that I wanted to play. And opponent scoops because they're in a lot of trouble. So there we go. 2 games, two games, highly successful games with the deck. You know, and I could have been more aggressive, set up for more damage easily. This really is a powerful deck. It even when it doesn't work exactly the way you want, you know, it just puts a lot of pressure on your opponents. Not sure. You know, let me know. Let me know. Do you think this is the best deck in the expanded beta format in live or not? Take care.